Hello guys, welcome back to another live stream. So it's a gorgeous Friday. I don't know, was it on Wednesday? I thought it was a Monday. I've now got myself back in focus here. AJ, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, some technicals that we do need to talk about. We are seeing a rejection on the price of Bitcoin as of right now, which is, very, very important. So we'll get onto that in a moment.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to start. We're going to make this very, very quick, guys. Give me like a quick fire type thing. So first things first, we're looking at the Fed. So the Fed vice chair. So like the guy under Jerome Powell, Leo Brainerd has said it's very hard to see the case for a Fed pausing of rate hikes, which to be honest, for me, I think pausing is probably a bad thing. That's going to lead to inflation over a longer period of time. I think keep the rate hikes. You know, we've definitely already priced in June and July 50 basis points in terms of the rate hike. So I think keeping the rate hike, kind of fairly consistent, I think is probably what's already been priced in. So I do genuinely believe that this is going to be relatively good for us towards that tail end of the year. And just to give you a little bit of a quick demonstration, should we say? So currently we are 0.75 up to 1. And this is so the anticipation target rate, for June is 97% are already pricing in June. Same is true for July. Lots of confidence that we're going to have that 250 basis point hikes. And then September is where it gets a little bit more, I guess, confusing. So if we are between 1.75 and 2, we would then be looking to be between 2.25 if we do a 50 basis point hike. So a lot of people have been talking about maybe a 25 basis point hike or even just, none. So this is where this would be the pause here. So if we were, this would be a 25 basis point hike. This would be a 50 basis point hike. We're currently undecided at the moment. I think that's what's given the stock market a little bit of alleviation. But I do want to let you know, guys, in an hour and a half, we're going to have massive volatility because of these numbers here. So right now, if I was you, I would probably hold off on trading. There might be, if you're on the smaller time frames, probably okay. But for myself, I like to trade on slightly larger time frames. And so this news really has a massive effect, because it's more fundamental on the larger time frames. But that's the kind of key bit of news that I want to say in terms of the Fed. This is why I think we're going to have quite a good end of the year for Bitcoin itself, because there's not really much cause for a pause, and so that will allow us to get to that target of around 2%. In other news, we have New York just passed a Bitcoin mining ban. That is not great. So lawmakers in New York have just passed a bill to ban it's new, which is quite good, Bitcoin mining operations. And this is all in the name of being good for the environment and kind of being green, should we say. And so we have seen industry insiders also tell CNBC could have a domino effect across the US, which is currently at the forefront of global Bitcoin mining industry, accounting for 38% of the world's miners. And obviously a lot of this is in Texas, and place where the energy is extremely cheap. Next piece of news, we have Coinbase rescinding employment offers and extending a hiring freeze. Everyone's beginning to, kind of be a little bit worried. I don't know if you remember, a while back, there was this tweet that was going around saying that if you have money on Coinbase, if they go bankrupt, they can use your money that you have, on Coinbase, like essentially all of your Bitcoin, your stablecoins, they can use that to kind of bail themselves out if they have to go bankrupt. So
That's
why
that's why it's always good to, put your Bitcoins onto something, like a ledger, because then,
yes.
your crypto is yours. When you've got your money on an exchange, it's technically not your crypto. You're just borrowing the crypto. You're giving them your money, and they're, you're borrowing crypto off them. So if you, put it on something like a cold storage ledger wallet, then that's that crypto that you have bought and put onto that ledger is actually yours, and no one can take that away from you.
Yeah, you only have crypto on paper with an exchange, but actually taking it off means like you said, it becomes actually yours. So I think throughout the stock market, this is going to have an effect on Coinbase, the actual stock price themselves. Tesla have come out and said something similar as well, and that made the share price drop by around, I think it was like 3% within a very, very short period of time. So, you know, basically they have some money troubles is only the only way to say it, you know. But they ballooned. They went from, what was it? Yeah, from 1,700 to 4,000, almost 5,000 within the space of a year. Absolutely crazy. And final bit of news that I want to present to you guys is Japan has passed a bill to limit stablecoin issuance to banks and trusts only. So only to banks and trusts, which I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest. Yes, it's very good that, you know, the trustworthy people, the banks and the trusts, it's good that they are the ones who are allowed to be issuing stable coins, but is it really in their best interest to be, you know, issuing stable coins? I would argue probably not, because that's a monetary system that's not the banks. So I don't think that I think this might actually hinder crypto in Japan, even though it seems like it might be quite bullish news, because, you know, they are now allowed to issue stable coins, or they will be.
Unless they, you know, start moving towards, you know, they see the future for crypto and they start moving towards sort of, you know, crypto and the stable coins. You know, I think that will be good, but, you know, it's just, will they do that? That is a question.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's the thing. It could go one of two ways. It could go that the government push the banks and the trusts to actually, you know, they have to deliver it. They might get a small bit of fee somewhere. You know, I imagine a bank wouldn't do it otherwise. So it might be that the government push these banks to actually have that. And then, you know, if you've got stable coins being issued by the, you know, the one thing that everybody has, you know, everyone has a bank, everyone stores their money in a bank. So having such easy access to a stable coin could be a very good thing for crypto. Or the banks could just kill it, because, you know, they're already making enough money, and, you know, the flood into stable coins would kind of take some of their revenue away. So I'm unsure as to how I feel about that, but that's your quick little update of kind of the key bits of news. But like I said, we'll go into technicals, but just be careful, guys. In an hour and a half, you're going to have major volatility in the industry.
Yeah, and we're already, you know, seeing as of right now, you know, we're seeing a pretty substantial pullback. We were, you know, at 30K around this morning, but, you know, as of right now, we are seeing a pretty big pullback, and, you know, we have respected this this resistance level once again. You know, we're not respecting the support when we see the breakouts. You know, both of these times they've been fake outs. We haven't managed to find support, but as of right now, you know, we are still finding that resistance at this level. You know, this just confirms how strong this resistance level is. You know, I told you in yesterday's live, you know, that we found nice support along here. Yes, we did. We saw it come up to the resistance, but we are seeing that rejection now. Where can the price now come down to? Well, first of all, I'll be looking at this white trend line here, this downwards trending trend line. I'll be looking at the price to hold there like we did yesterday. However, if we can't hold that level, then most definitely we will come down to this major support level here on the, it's only on the 4 hour, so it is, you know, more shorter term, but, you know, this is, you know, a very, very big support level that we need to be looking out for, because we have found so much support along this level. Now, it leads me to believe that if we do come down to this level here, there is a pretty high chance we could break down below this. Now, I don't want to, you know, be saying that, but because we have seen this fake out here, we've not been able to hold that support. Okay, and we're seeing a rejection here again. If we come down here, I just don't see that much hope in Bitcoin. I don't have that much hope in Bitcoin holding this support level again, because we tested it so many times, you know, and, you know, we were looking so good here until we got that fake out. So yeah, I just don't think that we can hold this this support level, and, you know, that if we do break that level, then that would also mean that we'll most likely break this major support level. We do still have 2 days left of this weekly candle. We do want to see a nice green weekly candle, because, you know, we've seen 9 weeks of red candles now. We don't want to see double digits. We don't want to see that 10th weekly candle. It would be nice to, you know, start seeing seeing that sort of relief bounce, potentially coming up to my target, which is around, $37,000 if we were to hold this support level and bounce off of that. But unfortunately, right now, we're looking like we could, potentially turn this green candle into a red candle. And if, as I said, if we break the support level, there is, that $22,000 Bitcoin that I'm looking at. 24,000 is what I'm looking at first, but there's not much support there. So I reckon, if we break this major support level, the next target would the more likely target in my eyes is that $22,000 Bitcoin. But let's just hope, if we can come down to this support level, we can hold it. But as I said, I just don't see much hope in Bitcoin holding that support. Now, taking a quick look at the dominance, dominance is continuing to rise. When we broke out of this falling wedge pattern here, I told you that we would most likely see the dominance come all the way up to this resistance level here, between that 47% and 49% level. You can see that we've used this as resistance multiple times before. So if we do come up to this level here, what I would like to see, what I sort of expect, is maybe Bitcoin finds that bottom when we do get into this resistance level. Then once we get that confirmed bottom, then we can see that rejection from this resistance level here, and then that's when we can start looking at getting into those altcoins. But as I've been saying for the past week, I'm staying away from those altcoins because there is potential for more downside to Bitcoin. I'm staying away from them until I'm certain that Bitcoin has hit its bottom. So as of right now, when we broke out of this falling wedge, I did in fact put most of my portfolio into Bitcoin, getting out of those riskier coins, and so far that's paid off for me. I'm seeing a lot less of a loss in my whole general portfolio because I have done this. So when we do see that rejection here, that's most likely when I will start putting our Bitcoin back into those altcoins, so we can start seeing those bigger gains. But as of right now, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, that is usually just the cycle, isn't it? Where, money flows into Bitcoin. Obviously, once that hits the bottom, and then, like you said, we kind of get to that level of I guess, peak dominance, should we say?
Yeah.
That's then where people are going to be getting into Bitcoin. You see that pump massively, but then also I think we're then going to see quite soon after. And do you know what? One thing I'm noticing about these little, should we call it like a little pump or comeback? Whenever we see Bitcoin kind of rebound, the altcoins follow very, very quickly. Now, historically, that hasn't really been the case. It hasn't kind of followed as quickly as what it is now, which is quite interesting. But usually it's, obviously, if you've been through this stage before, you'll know that it's kind of Bitcoin that will do that first pump. And then the money people start taking profits from that and then distributing that into the altcoins. And that's then when we have our altcoin season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so that's when we'll see the massive drop in Bitcoin dominance across that chart there.
Yeah.
So there we go, guys. If you have a question, quickly drop that in there. We will just immediately respond to any questions that you might have. But that's very much the overview for today. Going through, just letting you know a little bit about the Fed policy. So like I said, with the balance sheet reducing, that massive $8.9 trillion balance sheet that the Fed has, along with these sustained Fed rate hikes, I think that will probably get inflation down to a decent level. I think there will be unemployment within the US, which is not great, but that's just what happens when you increase the interest rates. People don't want to borrow money. They're not hiring loads of staff. We've just seen that, for example, with Coinbase, Tesla, and so. We're going to get into this kind of slight slowdown, but I think that will then lead us into a good position where at the moment the stocks are very much pricing in a lot of this stuff to come, and even crypto is kind of pricing it in. And so I think we're going to then, towards the end of the year, see that massive pump, and I'll have my pipe very much in my hand to celebrate.
Won't we all?
Yes. Well, if there are no questions, guys, I will bid you a very good weekend, and I will look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Slap that like button.
Yes, absolutely. And head over to Twitter just so you can follow all of our content on a more regular basis. You know, any updates that's going on in the markets whenever we can't be live here.
Yeah. Thank you for
All right,
watching.
guys. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.